The end of the world has been predicted many times throughout history. In 2023, we are living in a new era of scientific breakthroughs and technological advancements. However, it seems as though humanity's future is hanging in the balance. From climate change to global conflicts, we are facing more threats than ever before. But what if there was something more, some greater force at play? Have we really reached the pinnacle of our existence? Or is there something else in store for us? What if there are ancient texts hidden away somewhere that have the answers we seek? A new series called Uncovered is here to help us explore these texts. In today's episode, we will be discussing the forgotten apocalyptic scrolls that were recently discovered. What do they say about our future? Let's find out. In order to predict the future, we must first understand the past. The ancient world was a time of great mystery and wonder, and the people who lived back then had their own beliefs about the end of the world. For example, the Maya believed that the world would end in 2012 when the current cycle of time came to an end. The Aztecs believed that the world would be destroyed by fire, and the Norsemen believed that it would be destroyed by ice. However, there is one thing that all of these cultures have in common. They all believed that the end of the world was inevitable. For them, it was just a matter of time until the world as they knew it would come to an end. But why did they believe this? Well, it's simple. They didn't know any better. They had never seen any evidence of human progress, and so they assumed that life would always be the same. Unfortunately, they were wrong. Today, we are much more aware of the dangers that exist in the world. We know that climate change is a real threat. We know that nuclear war is a possibility. And we know that an asteroid could wipe out all life on Earth at any given moment. So it's understandable why some people believe that the world as we know it is doomed. However, what if there is hope? What if there is something that we can do to save ourselves? Recently, a group of scientists made a discovery that has given us hope for the future. They found a way to edit genes with incredible accuracy, which could lead to cures for many diseases. They also developed a new type of battery that could store energy for long periods of time, which could help us fight climate change. And they even created a robot that can walk on water, which could be used to save people in emergencies. So there is still good things happening in the world. We just need to focus on them. But where does this leave us? Are we doomed, or is there hope for the future? Well, the answer may surprise you. It is not often that archaeological discoveries make headlines around the world, but in 2014, a collection of clay tablets found near the Dead Sea shocked the world. These tablets contained a text that predicted the destruction of the world. But this is not where the story ends. The text also predicted the resurrection of the dead and the coming of a Savior. This is not the first time that such a prediction has been made. In fact, there are many religious texts that contain similar predictions. But what makes these tablets so unique is that they date back thousands of years before the birth of Christ. This means that the author of the text could not have been influenced by any of the later religious texts. So who wrote the text, and what did they mean? The text was written in a language that is now extinct, but scholars have been able to translate it using other texts that were written in the same language. The text is called the Book of the Secrets of Enoch, and it dates back to around 100 BC. The book is not part of the Bible, but it was written during the same time period and in the same region. The book tells the story of Enoch, who was the great-grandfather of Noah. According to the book, Enoch was taken up to heaven where he learned the secrets of the universe. He was shown the beginning and the end of time, and he was told the fate of humanity. Enoch was told that there would be a great flood that would destroy the world. But after the flood, there would be a new beginning. The righteous would be resurrected and live on in a new world. Enoch was also told about the coming of a Savior, someone who would come to save humanity from its sins. The Savior would be born of a virgin and would perform miracles. He would be crucified, but he would rise again 3 days later. The Book of Enoch is one of the oldest texts that contains these types of predictions. It is important to note that these predictions were made thousands of years ago, and yet they have remained consistent throughout history. Other texts that were written centuries apart from each other contain the same predictions. So what does this mean? Well, it could mean that the predictions are true. After all, how could so many different people living in different parts of the world come up with the same story? Of course, skeptics will argue that there are natural explanations for all of this. Maybe the stories are based on real events that were misinterpreted, or maybe they're just the product of a fertile imagination. But what if there is something more? What if these predictions are actually coming true? There are some people who believe that the Savior spoken of in the book of Enoch is none other than Jesus Christ. After all, Jesus did perform miracles, and he did rise from the dead. And the similarities between the book of Enoch and the Bible are too great to be ignored. Of course, this is just speculation, and there is no way to prove it. But what about the other predictions? What about the great flood and the destruction of the world? Are these also coming true? Some people believe that the great flood mentioned in the book of Enoch is the same flood that is described in the Bible. This flood is said to have happened 40 days and 40 nights, and it is said to have wiped out all life on earth. Could this prediction also be coming true? Well, it's hard to say. The Bible is clear that the great flood destroyed the world as it was known at the time. But it is not clear if this is a prediction of a future event. Only time will tell if the other predictions of the book of Enoch will also come true. In recent years, scientists have made some startling discoveries that suggest that the predictions of the book of Enoch may be more accurate than we thought. For example, scientists have recently discovered that the Earth's poles are shifting. This could cause massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, which could lead to the destruction of the world as we know it. Scientists have also discovered that the sun is getting bigger. This could eventually cause the Earth to be consumed by the sun, which would definitely destroy the world. And lastly, scientists had discovered that there is a large asteroid heading towards the Earth. This asteroid could collide with the Earth and cause massive damage. These scientific discoveries suggest that the world as we know it may be in danger. And it is possible that the predictions of the book of Enoch may be coming true. Only time will tell if these predictions will continue to come true in the future. One of the most mysterious and intriguing prophecies in the book of Enoch is the prediction of a Savior who will come to rescue humanity from its sins. This Savior is described as someone who will be born of a virgin and will perform miracles, ultimately being crucified, but rising again 3 days later. This prophecy has led many to believe that the book of Enoch was in fact referring to Jesus Christ himself. However, there are others who believe that the Savior spoken of in the book of Enoch is not Jesus Christ, but someone else entirely. Some believe that the Savior could be a yet-to-be-born individual who will come to save humanity from its current state of sin and destruction. This individual would then be born of a virgin and perform miracles similar to those attributed to Jesus Christ. Ultimately, they would be crucified, but would rise again 3 days later. While it is impossible to say for sure who or what the book of Enoch is referring to when speaking of the Savior, it is interesting to consider both possibilities and what each one could mean for the future of humanity. In the book of Enoch, there is another equally mysterious and fascinating prediction, the prediction of the resurrection of the dead. This prophecy states that one day the dead will be raised from their graves and will live again. This prophecy has led to much debate and discussion over the years, with some believing that it is a prediction of a future event, while others believe that it is simply a metaphor for the resurrection of the soul. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.